Hi guys, welcome back to the Geek Garage. Writing. We've been talking all about series books, and we're going to be looking today at characters in those books and characters across the whole series. So, I'm going to remind you what we've been learning. I'm going to explain what I want you to be looking out for today while you're reading your series book. Okay. Now, just as a reminder for you, here are the ones that we've been reading. You'll see that I've got one made up. I've got my post-its in there from the previous lessons. Okay, if you've got post-its, use them. I'll say it again, if you've got post-its, use them. Pointing out problems, pointing out and then writing on there character traits. What are the characters like? And you'll see, here's my series right here. I've got them. Now, you might not have the physical book, but you can find these on Epic. You got to find those. Okay, it's really important. This is what we're looking at. So, I'll remind you of what we've been looking at. Okay, for the past couple of days. So here we go. We're going to become experts on characters in these series books. Okay, we started out collecting information about the main characters. Now, this is an ongoing process. That means that it's not just that one lesson. We want you thinking about the characters all the time. All the time. Oh, what more can we find about the character? It's a little like VTS. Yeah, what more can you find? Well, ask that about the characters. What more can you find about the characters? About what they like to do, what they don't like to do. What are their character traits? What are they like? Okay, now we spend a lot of time on this, paying attention to how characters respond to problems. Well, once again, that's an ongoing process. Not only will that help you learn about the character, it's going to help you in your writing. In your writing today, you're going to be coming up with ways to figure out how to create problems in a story. Well, right now, these are great models about the kind of problems that can arise in a simple story like this. So pay close attention to that when you're reading, please. And this is what we're going to look at today. Notice the things that are the same across the series. So notice the things that are the same across the series. Now, some things you're going to find there's going to be similarities, there are going to be differences. Okay, if the whole book was similar, then, well, that's going to be a pretty boring book. So let me show you what I mean by that. What we're really talking about here we're talking about the characters. Okay, so I'm just going to flip it onto my Frog and Toad book. Okay, here we go. You'll see that I've got, I'm using my post-its. I've got my post-its handy in case I need them. Okay, right here. Oh, and there's Frog, and that was from last lesson. And here we go. Points out the mess. Okay, so there's some character traits about Frog. And I'm going to put those where it came, which was about, which was in here. I'll put it here because that previous one is full already. So, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn to the second chapter. Okay, in this, just to give you an example of what we're talking about. So I'm going to look at the kite. Okay, next page. Okay, here we go. And we're going to just read this together really quickly. I'll pause it so that I'm not going to hold it. Okay. So here we go. Frog and Toad went out to fly a kite. They went to a large meadow where the wind was strong. A meadow is like a large grassy area. Our kite will fly up and up, said Frog. It will fly all the way up to the top of the sky. Toad, said Frog. I will hold the ball of string, you hold the kite, and run. Toad, oh, sorry. Unfreeze that, freeze it again. Toad ran across the meadow. He ran as fast as his short legs could carry him. The kite went up in the air. It fell to the ground with a bump. Pump! Toad heard laughter. 3 robins were sitting in a bush. The kite will not fly, said the robins. You may as well give up. Now, before I even read the next bit, I'm going to close that. Let me just see if I can freeze that. A little tricky. Oops, freeze that. Now, I want you to think to yourself, what's going to happen next? We know some things about the characters. We know some things that might happen in this story. The robins are saying the kite will not fly. Might as well give up. Now, do you think they're going to have another go? Do you think that they're going to fly the kite? Or are they going to give up? Fly the kite, give up. They're probably the two things that are going to happen. I'm using my trying to predict what's going to happen in the story. Okay, once I've done that, I'm looking at these two characters and I'm thinking, I have a feeling one of them might want to give it another go and the other one might just want to give up. Which character do you think might want to give up? Here's the problem, the kite won't work. This is how they respond to the problems. Remember, we were looking at that last time. So let's go back. I'll unfreeze it. Toad ran back to Frog. Frog, this kite will not fly. I give up. Well, we knew that was going to happen. We knew that Toad likes to give up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write on here, Toad likes to give up. Hopefully that's not something that any of us would like to do. Okay, well, if you give up when you're faced with a problem, you're never going to solve the problem. And straight away I'm going to turn over and it says, we must make a second try, said Frog. Huh. So I might put here, Frog doesn't like to give up. Now this is linking to what we did last time. I'm going to put these in here. I'm learning loads about these characters. Okay, Frog and Toad. Now, I'm not going to carry on with that book, but here's what we're talking about today. So I'm going to take that and I'm just going to put it to the side. I'm going to have a little look at this one. Now, you guys should have already read this book. Okay, this was the book that was assigned to you last week. Okay, on Epic. Hopefully all of you have read that. Now, straight away, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up here. Frog and Toad are friends. Oh, once again, I really like the fact that there's 5 chapters, super easy to read. Okay, this is probably like 60 pages or so, 64 pages. So most of you are going to be able to read that in half an hour. Okay? Most of you are going to read, this is a good book to read in half an hour. So, here we go. I'm going to have a little look. Spring! Frog ran up the path to Toad's house. Oh, this is a setting. This is where it takes place. I can see that, and it's already said it's in Toad's house. Once again, we're noticing similarities. Something similar already. I'm going to go back to this book, and oh look. Where does this take place? This takes place in Toad's house as well. And look, Frog is looking through the window. So something I've learnt already. Frog likes to get up early. So I'm just going to write that down. Okay, so this is kind of the task today. So things that I'm learning across books. Frog likes to get up early. Okay. He knocked on the door. There was no answer. Toad! Toad! Shouted Frog. Wake up! It's spring! Blah! Said a voice from inside the house. Well, straight away I might say this about Toad. Something that I've learned from here, and something I'm going to go back to this book, and I'm going to look in here. I'm going to look at, this is what I wrote last time. Lazy, irresponsible, messy, careless, hides from his problems. Well, I'm looking here. He's in bed. And he was pretty miserable in that book. Well, I'm looking here straight away. He's only said one thing. And I'm thinking that Toad seems pretty miserable. Okay, across both books. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm linking things which I'm finding out, things which are the same in both of these books. Okay, same characters. They start in the same place. And it seems like the character traits, what the characters are like, are also the same. Now, let's just read. I'll just finish this first couple of pages. It says, "Toad, Toad," cried Frog. "The sun is shining. The snow is melting. Wake up." Oh, so it seems to me that Frog not only likes to get up early, but he's ready for the day. I'm going to write here, he's ready for spring. Not just ready for the day. And he's really positive. He wants to get up and do things. He's busy. Now, things that I'm learning about Toad, he's hardly said anything. Let's see if we can get any more from this. "The snow's melting, wake up." "I'm not here," said the voice. Once again, miserable. Maybe he's a bit lazy. Maybe he's a little bit negative. Now, we've only read 2 pages, and look how much we've learned from that. And all of these things are things which we also got from our last book as well, Days with Frog and Toad. And I could put those here as well, and you can see them. Toad, lazy, irresponsible, messy, careless, hides from his problems, miserable, lazy, negative. So straight away, we're starting to see that there are some things which are the same from book to book. Here, Frog points out the mess. Responsible, tidy, neat, bossy, kind, clean, problem solver. Well, likes to get up early. That was in both of them. Ready for spring, positive, and he's busy. That's definitely something which happens in both books. So, here's what I'm looking for you to do today. As you're reading your series book, taking notes on post-its, sticking them in where is appropriate, and I want you finding things which are the same across the books. Can you find things which are the same across the books? Maybe it's where it takes place, the setting. Maybe it's the plot, actually what happens in the story. But what I really want you focused on is what are the same, what similarities can you find in the characters from one book to the next? Because should we be finding big differences in the characters? Probably not. They're probably going to be pretty similar. Because if you read one book and the characters acted in one way, and then you flip to another book and the characters were completely different, I'm not sure that would make sense. If you came in to school one morning and I was one way, I was all happy and nice and smiley, and the next day I was all grumpy and miserable, would that be surprising? It would be surprising. Some of you might say I'm miserable all the time. I don't know. But it would be surprising. So what we're looking for is this consistency. What can you find which is the same from book to book in your series? Okay, half an hour of reading. Don't forget to fill out your reading log. Keeping those notes, post-its if you've got them. If you don't have them, do it on a piece of paper or in a small book. Keep the book safe. Okay, you're going to need all of these notes as you go. Okay, good luck. Go enjoy some reading.